Today, I sit down with Dr. Marissa Pei, clinical psychologist, best-selling author, celebrity coach, and award-winning host of Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, on KCAA NBC Radio. With over 30 years in psychology and a career helping everyday people to Hollywood talent, Dr. Marissa blends science, compassion, and humor to inspire real transformation. Well, Dr. Marissa, thank you so much for coming onto the show today.
It's my blessing. Thank you.
I just want to, first of all, you have this show, you have had many shows, and you've gone on tour, you've done so many different things. How did you even get started into psychology and into entertainment? Did you think, as a little girl, I'm going to be a psychologist and I'm also going to be an entertainer?
Absolutely not. My father was a professor at the University of Waterloo. He got his PhD in chemical engineering from McGill. So from the time I was a little girl, I knew I was going to be a professor like my dad and get a PhD. And he was very happy with that. He thought I would get a degree. He was hoping in engineering, or I scored very well in the PSAT. So it was a possibility to go into math because the math portion was so high. But I thought about doing it was, I'm from a Chinese home. Yes. I know you thought I was Swedish, but Chinese are very, very, doctor or lawyer, basically, are two choices. So, or professor. And so I thought, my mom really wanted me a doctor so that she wouldn't have to go to the doctor. And then, unfortunately, I had a boyfriend who got leukemia. And so my first semester in college, where I was a biology major with a psychology minor, I don't know what my minor was, but I spent a lot of time in the hospital watching him die. So I said, this is not for me. And so what am I going to do? I knew I would get a graduate degree, and the most interesting subject was psychology. Wow. So that's how I became a psychology major, and then got the 2 masters, a PhD, and then I was teaching at UCLA in the MBA school, and one of my students came up and said, your talents are being wasted. You need to be on camera. My father's a producer, and they're looking for expert commentators to talk about my field, which is business psychology, and why people do weird things at work or totally out of control people. And that's how I got into media.
Wow.
So kind of interesting. Different.
It's very interesting. So like by happenstance almost.
But my life, right? It's, I was telling you, my middle name is Serendipity Doodah, and I really don't have to worry about things because things just sort of happen, whether I want them to or not. They're not always fun, but as a result of whatever happens, I know it's always this or better, and I'm open to the opportunities. And, even though I thought I was going to be a clinical psychologist, I did my hours at a beautiful place that treated chronically mentally ill. And the opportunity came up for this new degree that combined business and psychology, organizational psychology, so leadership, conflict, miscommunication, power, favoritism, conflict, all the things that people struggle with at work. I thought, boom, that's for me. And I want to do that. So I'm the 4th person in the States to get a PhD in this particular field.
That's amazing. Yeah. So you have this show, Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. How did you come up with that name? I started laughing so hard when I heard that name.
I was woken up at 4:30 in the morning. I was already doing some TV work and The Voice, and I'm not religious, right? I'm allergic to religion because I grew up, that strict religion, angry God kind of thing. So I went away from it. But I did, I don't know how much of the story to go through, but to be alone without any kind of belief system, and that life is chaotic and random, and that I'm lonely, lonely, I am so, the Chipmunk song, and and thinking that, really nobody cares, it's a tough way to live.
Yeah.
So I went church shopping, and I found that spirituality is my ticket. So I love that saying, religion is for people who want to avoid going to hell, and spirituality is for those of us who've already been there.
Sure.
Right?
Okay,
And
right.
then knowing that I am part of this incredible thing called life and creativity and Mother Nature, and that not one blade of grass or grain of sand or water droplet or leaf on a tree is like each other.
Mm-hmm.
That took some pretty incredible creative force. So I am a part of that creative force, as we all are. And I choose to believe that. Now, some people call it God, some people call Mother Nature, some people call it Source. I don't care what anybody else calls it. I actually call him my UPS man.
Your UPS.
My universal power source.
Oh, okay.
And he delivers every morning when I pray and meditate, and I open myself up to inspiration and creativity. So every once in a while, he'll actually say something. So that morning at 4:30 in the morning, it was the second time. He seems to like 4:30 in the morning to get my attention.
Yeah.
And he woke me up and said, radio. And I went, first of all, it's 4:30 in the morning. Can we talk about this in the morning? Radio. Okay, fine. So I go to my computer, I sit down, and I start typing. And the first download was the name of the show, Take My Advice. I'm not using it. I laughed out loud.
Wow.
And then the format of the show. Now, I had no experience with radio, right? So I had been doing some TV work, but the format of the show, the business plan for the show, the guests that I would have, and I've had every single guest that I wanted on the show, with the exception of the Dalai Lama. His Holiness said that he doesn't do that stuff anymore. So, but 99% of everybody that I wanted on my initial list is pretty darn good. Oh, wow. And the whole premise of the show was no headlines. Now, people said, are you kidding me? How are you going to survive? You're not going to talk about anything in the news? Nope. No Kardashian talk, no gossip, no tearing anybody down,
right? No
endorsing things that you don't believe in or agree with. And no one gave me more than a year of a prediction to actually survive. Well, this morning I started consecutive week number 704, which is over 13 years.
Yeah.
I just finished podcast show number 1,500.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And my YouTube TV channel just hit 4.2 million impressions.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, and my guest for the 1,500 show, I do milestone things, was Michael Leonard. And I don't know, you're too young to remember the Waltons. Yeah.
Both, yeah.
However, you're not too young to remember Jeffrey Dahmer's grandma.
Yeah.
She also played Jeffrey Dahmer's grandma.
Yes.
That show got 1 billion views.
Wow. Yeah.
So she was my guest.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you're very particular about how you go about choosing which guests you want to come into your show.
There's a lot of celebs, because I've had a lot of celebs who want to be on the show, and it's only celebrities that have done something with their limelight and shone it on areas of temporary darkness. For example, Fran Drescher didn't come on to talk about The Nanny or being SAG president. She's been on twice to talk about cancer and her whole effort to educate all of us that you can prevent cancer.
Yes.
So that's a good example of a guest that does that. My big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith, who is a friend of Oprah's, and he's the one that introduced me to her. I'm sure that's one of your questions. He's the one that introduced me to Oprah as the Asian Oprah. So I didn't make that name up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It was
given
to me.
Yes.
And she did not call her lawyers. Thank God. God would. But she actually looked at me, looked down, and said, "Nice pants."
Really?
And it took everything for me not to say, "Do you want them?" But yeah, you get a pair of pants. You get no. I just said thank you, and that was a wonderful meeting, and it couldn't have happened any other way.
What exactly is balance to you? Is it like balance in just your mental health and your physical health, everything? Like what is your personal definition of balance?
Yeah, perfectionism is a dis-ease of life because you'll never be happy. Because doesn't matter what you do, how much you do, what your last success was, it's never enough. Okay, so that's why balance is like such a it's a happy word, because you don't have to be everything to everybody, right? And you know that some people are going to love you and some people are not going to love you. There's balance there, right? Balance between work and play, balance between profession and personal, balance between having what you want and wanting what you have. Perfectionists never have what they want because there's always more. And they never look back and go, "Oh, I'm so glad I have that." They're always thinking about the next thing that they have to do, which is why it's such a dangerous dis-ease.
Well, as an artist myself, I feel like perfectionism, it helps me because also sometimes it makes things worse.
The older you get, the worse it's going to be.
Okay.
So you better get it now. I'm so serious, because that critic who is your perfectionist will drive, if it's driving you, right? If it's driving your life car, it will drive you over a cliff, because it will continue to tell you that that was good, but you can do better. Okay.
So what do you see the difference between like mental health between like different generations? Because I've had conversations with like, let's say like an aunt and uncle talking like, yeah, well, Gen Z is so soft now, saying, like you guys have all these mental issues. But I'm like, I think the older generation has mental issues too, right? Like
it's all balanced.
You guys just don't talk about it, right? Like what's the difference you see like between between Gen Z and millennials and baby boomers that talk about, and their approach to mental health?
Yeah, it's funny. I have a series on Mondays called Mental Health Matters Mondays, and we actually talked about this 2 weeks ago. In the old days, mental health was something like, don't air your dirty laundry. That was the number one thing. Like, okay, everybody's got that funky uncle or that crazy grandfather, grandmother, whatever, but you don't talk about it, right? You keep it to yourself, and you don't. It was so bad in some areas of the country and in some families where you don't even like, you put someone away. Like if they're mentally ill, you put them away and you don't even talk about them, that they're even, which is horrifying to me, but it was a cultural thing too. So that's changing, which is great. And then the pendulum has swung way to this side, which is where the criticism comes with the sensitivity, where you overshare everything that's happening to you, and everything's a big forking deal, and I can't deal, and da-da-da. You shouldn't have said that because that hurt my feelings, and I feel this, and da-da-da. So we're coming into balance, right? You ready for this?
Yeah.
It's the same message for every generation.
Gotcha.
Okay? And that message is, I have to change this because it's a dated term. I used to say, I don't have an answering machine. And people would go, what's an answering machine? Okay. I have a voicemail. You know what a voicemail is? Okay.
I know what an answering machine is too.
Okay, good. I don't have an answering machine. I have a questioning machine. And every time you call me, it says, who are you? And what do you want? If you answer that question for yourself, whether you're a baby boomer, sandwich, Gen Z, millennial, it doesn't matter. If you're human, if you're a human being, it doesn't work for dogs. If you're a human being and you stop, put your phone down. I'm not saying you can never look at it, but don't plug it in by your bedside when you go to bed. Charge it in another room. And when you go to bed, you lay back and you just breathe and you say, who am I? And the critic's not in the driver's seat. Who am I in the goodness of who I am? So on my show, we start every show with breakfast. And that consists of taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. My life is so simple.
Yeah.
When I mind my own business, I just take care of the hula hoop here. And I'm less in MSU University.
Yeah.
You know what MSU University is?
Is it this? Mindless screening university.
No. Making shiitake up.
Oh, I'm taking shiitake up. Okay.
Because we're very creative, especially sensitive people, right? Someone walks by us and they don't smile. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's
me. What did I do? What did I say? And your generation's really highly talented in this. They're taking graduate degrees at MSU, right?
Yeah.
So here's my antidote for y'all. INTBOAD. Do you know what that is?
Go ahead and say it.
It's not that big of a deal. I'm used to not swearing because it's a $20,000 fine because I'm on NBC News Radio. FCC violation. So.
So what's next for you? Like, tell us, like, if you can, like, your new projects are coming out.
Yeah. I just sort of spilled that bean, and I wrote this amazing part for Aquafina because it's I didn't have a best friend who was my advocate. I was alone, right? So I wrote this part in to make it funny, and she gets all of the sayings wrong, right? Grab life by the hoof instead of the balls, or just like it's very funny. And so that's a big project. And interestingly enough, I started it, and because I'm going to get real about what I went through, there's a lot of things that I didn't talk about in the book.
Tell us where we can find you on social media. So tell them your Instagram.
Doc Balance on Instagram.
Good.
Dr. Marissa everywhere else. Just ask my assistant Google. Just put in Asian Oprah, and I'm grateful that Google just goes right everywhere I am.
I love it. Thank you so much, Dr. Marissa, for coming on to the show today. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
I'm a hugger, so yeah.
Yes, I'm a hugger too. It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live from another show that I'm going to be on. Thank you, Norman, for having me.
So much.
Now go and have the best day ever. I'll see you tomorrow.